Let's talk about mentors for a minute. How many of you have a local mentor or an accountability partner that you meet with regularly? You don't have to raise your hand, but that if you're there, that's phenomenal. If you're there. I need to do that more often. I'm going to tell you something that I do later on for my development, but it's called the 12 lunches. But if you have a mentor that's local, please plug into that person. Okay? But I'm going to take it a step further. I stepped out and did something crazy back early in my coaching career. And I love to tell this story because it's a life memory and it changed my life. I had followed this guy. I was a young basketball coach at Fairfield High School. It was 1989. I had just started my coaching career in 86. I'm old. But I wrote this coach. I got his address. And I had heard that he would write you back if you wrote him a personal letter. So I wrote the guy. And I said, Coach, I'm a young assistant basketball coach. I'm ready for a head coaching job, and I just can't get one because I've never been a head coach before. What advice would you give me for a young assistant coach? April 7th, 1989. Dear David, a statement that I often use with players who were not getting as much playing time as they wanted might apply in your situation. I will get ready, and then perhaps my chance will come. I do not know where my path will lead, but I know who is directing it, and that should be enough. God never closes one door without opening another. Best wishes. Sincerely, John Wooden. That was in 1989. I continued to correspond with him, and in 1994, I found myself standing in his living room in Encinitas, California, with a coaching friend of mine from Birmingham. We flew out to Los Angeles, told him when we were going to be there. He said, yeah, I'm in town. Come out and see me. We knocked on the door, and there he opened it bigger than life. The Wizard of Westwood, John Wooden. Come on in, guys. This is a guy that was the greatest college basketball coach in the history of the game. And he had time for me. Matter of fact, he had 5 hours for me. I thought we'd get an hour with the guy. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry I'm losing it. It means so much to me. I thought he'd give us an hour. 5 hours we were in that guy's living room with him. You can't even see the paint on the wall because he's got plaques and pictures of all his great teams and people he was with all over the wall. Very, very modest place. Small. Phone rings. Hello? Oh, hi, Bill. No, I'm fine. I'm just sitting here talking with a couple of high school basketball coaches from Alabama. No, Bill, I don't need anything, but I thank you for calling. Love you too, Bill. Bye. Bill Walton. He said, you know, guys, the guy that gave me the most trouble in my entire coaching career, the guy that bucked me and challenged me the most, calls me every week to see if he can do anything for me. But he said, I had to have tough love with that guy. Y'all know the story of him growing the beard? Have y'all heard that one? Walton with the beard. You know, Coach never allowed facial hair. But Coach also taught his players to stand up for themselves. And so one summer, back in those days, those guys were gone for the summer. They didn't stay on campus and work out like everybody does now. Walton shows up on campus for the new school year on his bicycle with a full red beard like he wore when he was with the Portland Trail Blazers. Y'all remember that, okay? Am I connecting with anybody on this? Okay. All right. He said, Coach, how are you? I've been thinking a lot about what you said about us standing up for what we believe, and I just believe that I should be able to wear a beard. this year for basketball. You know what Coach Wooden said to him? He said, Bill, I'm so proud of you for standing up for what you believe. And you know what? We're going to miss you here at UCLA. True story. True story to the word, I'm telling you. Guy called him every week. Coach, what can I do for you, man? Thank you for everything you did for me. So after 5 hours, I said, Coach, we have been here way too long. You are so hospitable. Thank you so much. I know you're hungry. We've been here. It's evening. And he said, well, are you guys hungry? And I said, yeah, Coach, we can eat. He said, well, let's go down to my favorite little delicatessen about 2 miles down the road here. And we loaded him into the rental car and took him to dinner. Took him back to his townhouse, walked him in. We took those pictures. And he said, well, I know you guys want me to sign some pyramids of success, and I will be happy to do that. He went over at his little desk and pulled out a drawer of pyramids of success about that thick and sat there for 15 minutes and signed every one of those pyramids of success for my father, my pastor, my coaching friends, anybody I could think of. Unbelievable. And that changed my life. I said, this is John Wooden. Now, y'all have met celebrities. Y'all have met people that are big time, and they don't have time for anybody else. Here's the guy that was the greatest basketball coach in the history of college game, and he let me fly out and spend 5 hours in his house, take him to dinner, and then sat there and signed stuff for me. Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what it's all about. Right there. It's all about other people. So I would encourage you, I don't care if you've got a mentor that's across the country, take a couple of days of vacation, get in touch with that mentor, and if they're worth 2 cents, they will be glad to sit down with you and talk with you and just glean everything you can from them. We talked about basketball. We talked about his famous 2-2-1 3/4 court press that gave so many people problems. We talked about player development and all that stuff, but we also talked about life, family, God, spiritual things. You can imagine in 5 hours, we just about covered it all. But I would encourage you to do that. It's a life-changing experience.